Hey, it's BT with another episode of Tales from a Gemini. Thank you guys for joining. This never gets old. Feline Fox, El Paso's own. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the music, Malik. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to get it going on. But today's guest, I'm so excited, is Breeann Poland. This girl rocks, man. Honestly, she lives a life in a way. I mean, I love my life. She lives maybe even I know it's an even better life because she rides motorcycles all the time. So I can't wait for her to click on. And I'm almost gonna quit the preamble. You know what I mean? I used to be a 5-minute preamble, but I think I'm gonna quit and just go straight into it. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why? I mean, I don't know why. I'm talking to my producer Wyatt. Hey, did you?
I like the preamble.
Why you like the preamble?
Because it's just BT talking. It's not about the guy.
I kind of like the preamble too.
Hey, that's Malik. Oh, look, Malik came in. I like when I talk to you guys. I give these guys shit, but I love these guys. I only give them guys shit because I know honestly, I think this is a great show, and it's because everybody does their part and does it well. And I love Wyatt, I love Malik, and we get together, and honestly, I can bust their balls because they don't know who Pearl Jam is and they're young, but they're also ambitious and they're fun. That's why I like hanging out with them. So hopefully we get our guest, Breeann Poland on. Hopefully, is she clicking on? Do you know? Yeah.
Well, she has not clicked on yet. No.
Okay. I'm gonna say click on now, girl. Yeah, she rocks. And I wonder if I can talk to you about how I liked her at one point. And she said I could talk to you about anything. I said okay. You know what I mean? So, but she's engaged now, and I don't think dudes like that shit.
Yeah, it gets a little dicey.
Well, we'll see. Dicey like Vegas, like a roulette wheel. I mean, honestly, it's like but if she's getting engaged, and we didn't engage in anything, we didn't even they wasn't even holding hands, no kissing, no whatever. So it wasn't like anything happened. I just called myself being sweet on her. The old days being sweet on somebody. You ever heard somebody say that? He's kind of sweet on her. You guys, you never heard that?
Yeah, way back in an old movie or something.
You know what, man? You go fuck yourself, Malik. Seriously, back in the olden days. You know what? When were you born? Like in 1990?
99, yeah.
99?
Well, I was born in like 2003.
Oh my God! I feel. This is horrible. All right, come on, Bree. Let's click on. Is she clicking on yet?
Okay, she just clicked on.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Youngsters, young whippersnappers. Seriously, these guys. Honestly, I love you guys. Bree! Bree, can you see me?
I can be.
What's up, girl? How you doing, baby?
Chilling in cold Wisconsin.
Let me tell you something. Before we even get started, let me tell you something. These guys, my producer and my engineer, all right, they're both the two ends of the spectrum. One's 19, one's 21. Both of them don't know who Pearl Jam is. What is the state of the youngsters in this society going to today? They don't know who Pearl Jam is.
Yeah, but then I was at a birthday party the other night, and I had people singing like "Aha" and knowing what a keytar was. So, I think it depends on how you're exposed, BT.
No. Pearl Jam, Bree. When I was a kid, before Google and before like really, really, really good cable, I knew who Nat King Cole was. I knew who people I shouldn't have known were. You know why? Because I seeked it out. You know what I'm trying to say? I found out about it. And I knew who groups I didn't know about were. These guys have all the technology in the world. They don't know who Pearl Jam is, Bree. Come on.
Well, that's maybe your job to educate them. I didn't listen to Nirvana for the first time until about 4 years ago.
Are you serious? Till 4 years ago. Till 4 years ago.
Yeah, but then if you asked my taste in music, you would be quite shocked at what I actually listened to.
No, because you know what? I think one thing we match up very well. We're both eclectic in everything we do. I mean, very eclectic in everything we do. Because now, listen, I told these guys this, and if you don't want to go there, we don't have to. Are you still engaged?
Technically, yes.
Okay. I don't know if I should go there, but I told these guys, I said, here's what happened. I remember seeing you on Instagram because I was friends with, I didn't even know who I was friends with, but, it's back in the MotoGP days, whatever.
Tony Watt, Anthony Watt.
Oh, it was somebody. No, but it was an Asian girl. And every time I would see you in the picture, I go, hey. I said, and I was being all gentleman-like. I said, hey, ask that girl if it's okay if I follow her and if I contact her. And then remember that? And she said, yes, you could. I said, okay. So I called myself liking you, blah blah blah. And you came down here MotoGP. And the funny thing about it was, we hung out. And everything was nice. We hung out. And I just remember it was the last night. It was the after party. You know, we're all ready for the after party. So my friend Amber, who nothing ever happened with, for some reason I don't know why, but I started dancing real close up on her, just joking and kind of grinding upon her. But it was a joke. And she looked and saw you and said, "Well, I think your friend just saw me." And she goes, "I think it's over now." I go, "God damn it!" And then after that, nothing ever even looked close to even happening. But then again, we kept in touch, and you invited me up to Milwaukee, and I went to your place, and it was great. Went to your house because we were going to ride the Himalaya for Royal Enfield, and you said, "Come up to my place," and I said, "Okay," and we were hanging out, and I even slept in your son's bed. I feel like a little kid. You go, "Sleep in my son's
Yep.
sleep in my son's bed," and I gotta go
Son's
to work.
bedroom equals guest room.
Yeah, I felt like a kid, and you were like, I gotta go to work, and then you get up when you whatever, and we'll hook up. I said, okay, and then after that, I think a friendship was bonded, because you live the life. Honestly, you live the life that it's even better than what you think your Instagram life is. Am I correct
I
in
only
that
share
assumption?
like little tidbits on Instagram, obviously. Like if I shared everything that was so epic in my life, I feel like I would annoy people. And like I know a lot of people, especially like during the pandemic, like are going through rough times. And if you just constantly throw like all the happiness in their face, like sometimes it's dejecting. Like I've gotten some like hate comments.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I actually I would say the last year I've gotten a lot of like really interesting feedback from people, and it kind of sucks.
Like what? Like what? And why? Honestly, why?
Well, one, I love collecting motorcycles. I think you know that. Two, I have a very extravagant sneaker collection that, like I work hard, and sometimes I like to treat myself. But some people have hit me up in the DM saying that I'm flaunting, my privilege in front of people, and this last year has been really interesting.
Honestly, I mean, do you respond back like classy, or do you kind of like give them throw a little shade, like, well, nobody told you to follow me?
I do it. I would call it like classy shade.
Like, give me an example. Okay. Let's say I'm the one going, "Hey, why are you flaunting everything? We suffering out here, and you flaunting. You just got a new motorcycle. I lost my job. What is it with these new shoes you got? It's kind of bullshit. Everybody's, and send." And what would you say back to me?
So, I guess it depends on like how they worded it and who that person is. Like if it's someone I don't know, I said, I always appreciate the feedback. I don't, ever want to be tone deaf or, not be aware of everyone's situations, but I'm thankful to have like the opportunities in the job, and I do in my life. And the reason I have Instagram is to share like my happiness with people, whether it's buying a pair of sneakers or whether it's getting a new motorcycle. If you don't want to follow me, you don't have to. Like no love lost. Like I'm not trying to be an Instagram celebrity. I don't think I ever will. I rub too many people the wrong way. But like, if you don't like what I post, then don't follow me, kind of thing. And I actually recently made it private because I had so many. Interesting comments.
Don't come down to their level, because honestly, that's why I don't mean this because I'm trying to come back and hit on you again. It's because it's the truth. We both have that kind of positive kind of life where like I love every time you remember that you start that trail bike or dirt bike course or whatever, and you post it.
Yeah.
Remember, and I said I'm so envious, but I mean in a good way, because I love seeing you do it. Because I mean, and you started flat tracking with the Royal Enfield. We'll get into all that, but it's like you live that life. I go, oh my God, you're riding motorcycles for a living. I always say I'm envious, but I want you. I want that life you have, and I'm happy for you. So if people like hit you up on DMs and degrade you for that, man, to hell with them. Seriously, fuck them. I mean, because it's their problem.
Yeah. Like for the most part, and I kept my profile open for years, but recently I just feel like it was more negative than positive, and like I don't want to wake up in the morning and have a bunch of negative. Like I'd rather start my day on like a positive note. And if for now, if it's keeping my profile private, so like I don't have like another layer of like negativity in my life, then so be it. Like I have enough friends.
Exactly.
I don't need any new ones.
Once you get to a certain age, like, yeah, I mean, if I get another one who's like that, who's cool, whatever, great. But if not, oh well, you know what I mean? I mean, don't come down to their level. Seriously,
I'll be 40 this year, and I'm so sick of like the high school drama. So like, this is my year of like eliminating like the negative and like going into my 40s. I'll be 40 in August, like just on an epic new positivity note.
You're gonna be 40.
In August,
I
yeah.
swear, you honestly, to me, you seem maybe 34. Maybe
like
30.
you.
No, and I mean from the bottom of my heart. It's, you know, it's like I said, and I'm not just kissing ass. It's because the way you live, man. Every time I see your pictures with you and Melissa Paris, or you and the dirt bikes and everything you do, man, it's so much fun. I can see the fun you're having, and it's not fabricated. It's not fake.
No.
It's just so real, and that's why I couldn't wait to, because you were on my list. Don't get me wrong, you were on my list, but it was like, okay, I gotta get this person now. This person now. Like, I gotta get Bree. And then before I went on break to see my parents, and when I got you, I go, yes. I mean, this is my no. I mean that this is my dream interview because everybody I interview, they just happen to be in the motorcycle field, but it's somebody that inspires me, and I love women who work in a quote unquote male dominated field and who excel in that field. And here's what you do that I think is great, that I wish more women just in life would do, is you try to bring women up. You uplift women, all of them, and you want women to thrive together. And I love that with your build, train, race program, is it?
Yep.
What's the name of it so we can get people to look? What is it called?
It's Build Train Race. You can check it both of the programs out at buildtrainrace.com. So we'll have a link on our Royal Enfield website soon because we revamped the site. It actually looks really good now. I actually had a female agency, all female agency, rebuild all the website for us for the Build Train Race. But it's buildtrainrace.com. There's a section for flat track, and then there's a section for road racing. Like, the women that we chose for both programs are so freaking cool. So freaking cool. Like, they come from so many different aspects in life. And, one chick is a chopper girl, and she really just wanted to push herself into a new, form of riding motorcycles. One used to race Supercross and has never road raced before.
Which one was that? Who was that? The race Supercross?
CJ Lewis.
Oh, okay.
You can follow her. She's the running trucker on Instagram. That chick is going for her PhD, and then she's throwing road racing into the mix. Like, super inspiring females that we have part of this program. Seriously, I like the flat track from last year, the flat track this year, the road racing. Like, it's just, I love bugging these ladies and sending them text messages and just hearing about all the crap that they got going on and adding. To learn how to freaking build a race bike, to training on it. This year is they're gonna be so busy on top of everything else they have in their life, but every single lady is giving it 180%. Sometimes I can't even answer the amount of emails and questions I get from them, and thankfully I have Melissa and then Johnny Lewis on the flat track side helping me, or I'd be completely lost.
Now, what made you honest? What made you want to include women and uplift them instead of being no offense, but how some women are I don't give a damn about her. I'm gonna do my thing and blah blah blah. But you're hey, I'm here. You guys want to come with me? Yeah, put the work in, or let's help other women in this field. What made you go that way?
A couple things is my company is based out of India, and women are just now being uplifted to ride and be independent, when it comes to motorcycling. And I was one of the first females in the entire company to be in a managerial role, have a department underneath me. And I think they've seen what we've done with the little bit, that we've had over the last 6 years that we've been in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And I have an amazing partner in the UK Tech Center named Adrian Sellers that we just go back and ideas. And he had done a program in Europe called the Petrolite Wrench Off. And I said, okay, I want to take from that, but I want to make it into programs. I want to make it a serious thing. I want to continuously bring new women to the program. I want to not just let them loose on their own, but I want to provide mentors. I want to provide them a platform for their racing. I want to provide, I want Royal Enfield to provide the tools and everything necessary. So we're not just saying here's a bike, figure it out on your own. Women is one of the fastest, groups or segments in motorsports. But it's more about street riding than it is about, the racing aspect. So I said, okay, well, now that we have more women wanting to ride motorcycles, how can we step it up a notch?
Right.
So the first, one of the easiest platforms to get into from a price and accessibility standpoint is flat track racing. It does not cost a lot at the end of the day to race flat track. So for me, that was that's where we're going to start. Plus we had just launched our professional flat track team with Johnny. So I said, we've already got some kind of base set up. Johnny and I have been bugging each other for, 12 or 13 years, and I knew he would be a fantastic coach for the women. And And we took so many lessons and learned so many things as the first year of the program last year. And one day I called Mel and I'm like, hey, do you want to quit the flat track program and run the entire road racing program for me? And do you want to do this? And she's like, hell yeah, Bree. And you know Melissa, she's pretty much the raddest chick in the entire world. And, you know, her and I started off as enemies. Like, we wanted to, like, strangle each other when
Why
we
is
first
that?
met.
Why?
Because I think at the time we didn't know how to embrace women. Like, we were both tomboys. We were both in the motorsports industry. I think we were catty, you know, and then one night at Seepkins at Road Atlanta, like 10, 12, 13 years ago, she was walking into a party that I was at. Pretty much we stopped each other at the door and they're like, dude, why are we beefing? We're both pretty fucking rad chicks. So like, why are we beefing with each other? And like, since then we've just uplifted each other. And I want more women to, you know, stop being like judgy or getting mad at someone else's experience. And Melissa and I have constantly built on that over the years. So she was a perfect fit for the road racing program. She's had multiple meetings. Her and then Ann Roberts, professional road racer, but now works for Road Racing World.
Right.
You know, like going through like all the video submissions and applications and like all the different criteria each one of us were looking at. And we weren't like, you know, it was an open platform. Like the three of us are completely different women, you know, in regards to personality, where we're at in life and everything. But it was just a really fun. It was a long, strenuous process of choosing like the final 7 contestants for road racing. But we wanted women that were so different from each other. Yeah. You know, and I did get some negative feedback. You know, one person asked, well, more than one asked why we didn't have any women of color. And quite honestly, because no one applied. That is,
I mean, honestly, I can see that, and I wonder if they did that just to say that, or did they really look into it? But did you like actively seek any though? Did you actively seek any?
I mean, we have, and we actually are for flat track. So there's a couple women that, you know, whatever. We try to. What Royal Enfield has always been is a very inclusive company. Obviously, we're India known with the British heritage. Right. You know, we've got a woman running marketing and communications. So we as a brand are extremely inclusive of anybody and everybody. Mm-hmm. So we always try to make sure that, you know, I don't care about your economic background. I don't care about how much money you make. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care about anything. I just want you to ride motorcycles. Yes. You know, so, you know, and one of the things is our motorcycles are accessible. They are obtainable. They've got a great price point. So
and they're affordable.
Live, you know, and they're extremely affordable. You know, anyone can get into motorcycling with the Royal Enfield. You know, we have tried different ways of reaching out to people of, you know, different ethnicities or whatever. And hopefully, like, over the years, we do have more and more people, you know, not just like the Melissas and the Brees buying motorcycles and wanting to be a part of the brand. Yeah.
Well, I can see how you and Melissa didn't get along, because honestly, it's kind of like the white guy who's got like, when it's like, that has a black friend at work and a black friend, like maybe a neighbor or the one that sells them weed, and they meet each other for the first time, and it's like, it's that weird kind of, there can only be one, and so it's like weird, you know what I mean? And so I can see that happening, honestly. I know, but you know what's weird? Melissa Paris hates me for some reason. I mean, she's never said hi to me. I've seen you and her at GP, her and Lucy, whatever. Yeah. I go, hey, and she just gives me that like, I wish you were dead look. I mean, I know that look. I've been to plenty of last calls. I know that look, and I was like,
does not hate you.
Yes, she does. Yes,
she's actually like a really shy, reserved person unless you get to know her. So again, I thought she hated me because she was the same way, and it's not. Like, you just have to break that like first level with her, and then it's just like homie for life. Well, and you know, Johnny. So funny story, when she joined the flat track program, she sent me a text one day after the first training. She's like, she's probably going to kill me for saying this, but she's like, dude, I think Johnny hates me. And then Johnny later that day sent me a text. He's like, yo, I think Melissa hates me. I'm like, you're all ridiculous. So I called them both out. Yeah. And I was like, you guys just need to get past like the first stage of awkwardness. And now they absolutely adore each other. And they message each other all the time. I'm not involved. She actually goes to him for like flat track advice, whereas before she was a little apprehensive and she didn't know how to handle the situation. Right. Plus, you know, Melissa's a professional road racer. She's been kicking ass for 15 years. Yes. And Johnny's a professional flat track and supermoto guy. So they both assumed that each other had an ego that wasn't approachable. But once they figured it out, and once I called them both out, now they're like, I don't even need to be involved anymore. There's
You're
no,
like-
there's no like Judge Bree trying to control the situation.
You were like the mediator. Is you really
Yeah,
were.
I was, but I don't have to be anymore.
You're
know,
like the
and I
female.
think Melissa.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
ahead.
No, you were like the female
No, I
Barack
was just gonna
Obama.
say,
You
like,
got to
Melissa and I are both almost 40, and we want to get over like the cattiness of situations and the high school drama. So if we have to call each other out, or if we have to call other people out and like mend the situations, that's like the best route for us.
Well, you tell her I think she hates me for no reason because I've always followed her on Instagram or whatever. No, and I'm a big and I mean it from the bottom of my heart is that I've always been like in her corner when she went to the endurance race in France, the Baldor, is it?
Boldora, yeah, I go with her when she goes. Yeah.
Yes, and I honestly I support her all the way because I think this chick is kicking ass. I want her to win, and what she's doing in Moto America, I really support her. I just go, yeah, but she hates me, and I think I just know that look. I know that hate look. Trust me, I've been on the receiving end of that hate look a lot. Usually after breakups, but I've been on that hate look a lot. So I think she hates me for some reason. So you be a mediator.
You know what? I'm going to mediate this, and we're
Okay.
going to come to a good resolution.
You know what I want to do? I want mediate that, and I want all three of us to go riding in the dirt. What? All three of us.
Okay, so do you want to go like motocross riding? Do you want to go flat track riding? Do you want to go trail riding? Do you want to go mountain bike riding? Like when you say dirt, like
I want to get dirty.
I'm personally like the biggest fan of trail riding right now.
Yes.
I just got
Yes.
a little Yamaha, and I'm obsessed with like riding that in the trails.
Oh my! I see that. I go. I want to ride with you again because of all the guests I've had on this show. I think you're the only one I actually rode with. I've had a lot of guests on this show. You're the only one I actually rode with. And honestly, that day in August, it was hot, and I rode my multi up there, and I just remembered, man,
Yes, you did.
I loved it. I mean, honestly, that was the greatest little trip. Like I said, came up the night before, and I just remember like I was so excited to ride with you, man. And the night before, and we talked, and I was like, yeah. And the next day, we just rode. I rode the Himalaya, and I was just like in my helmet going, "This is the coolest shit ever." I just remember you always looking back, like, is he still back there? Is he still back there? Because I was following you. I just remember doing that, man. That was so much fun. And you know what you really are? You're a Brawley girl turned good, basically. You rose up through the rank. You were a Brawley girl. That's the funny part about it to me. Like, explain that. I know you were young, like what, 16, 17 maybe?
Yeah, around that. So like, I modeled my whole life, and I got an opportunity to be part of like, a couple teams or whatever. And it was, to me, like, that was never what I wanted to do, but it was fantastic money, and it did expose me to road racing. Like, I've always known about like, motocross and supercross and like trail riding, because my background's always been dirt. So when I was exposed to road racing, I just became obsessed, and like I was in school, and and then when, I was done with school, I had begged like the team owner, like, hey, give me more responsibilities. Like, I don't mind wearing a spandex because I'm like totally fine with my body, but like, I want to do marketing. I want to do the hospitality. And they just kept giving me more roles and responsibilities. And then, eventually at some point I owned my own team, and I was also like sponsoring riders and helping them find, like sponsors or gigs, or Jake Zemke at the time didn't have like a resource to get to the races. So his team contracted us to like bring his race bikes and pit under our canopy. Kyle Wyman was down and out at some point, and he needed help. Cameron Bobier came back. He had been racing with a privateer Yamaha squad and really didn't have the greatest experience. And one day at Road America, his dad and I sat out in the open pit, and I was like, dude, how can I help you? You've got so much talent. And his dad really didn't know me at the time and was really apprehensive. And I was like, listen, if we need to get you another bike, if we need to supply you a mechanic, I'll cover your tire fee, race fees, tire entries. You can be like part of this team. I just want to know that you're committed. And it was such an amazing experience. And I always like joke to Cameron, and like, I don't believe it, but like I always say like, hey, if I hadn't given you that ride, you wouldn't have gotten like all these championships. I don't believe it. Cameron would have landed somewhere and had like me think. I just like to rib at him, and he is like one of the most down to earth, sweetest human beings, and his family have become like my best friends. Like, I talk to Tanya through Messenger like all the time, and if I ever do have any big momentous moments in my life where people get to be invited, like the Bobier family would definitely be on top of the guest list. And like, it was such a rad experience, like working with like all these people, and just like seeing them go up and like go from where like they started from, or where when I worked with them, and like
Yeah.
what they've been able to achieve since then. I feel like, I don't know, I'm like a small part of their success.
Well, how did you get that how did you earn their respect? How did you get their respect? 'Cause no offense. I mean, from their side looking in, I mean, a lot of things are old school, where they say, she's just a pretty face or hanging around, the motorcycles. How did you earn those guys respect? Like, 'cause a lot of that's old school thinking. Like, what's this woman know? She's just a hot chick who, hangs around motorcycle riders. How did you get them to go, oh shit, she knows her shit?
I don't know. I think like just my proven record. You see like me go through the ranks, and you see like the successes, from a hospitality and marketing standpoint. Every team I always worked with was out there. We were one of the only teams like doing off, racetrack promotions, sitting at gas stations and grocery stores. We were on the forefront of like social media and really taking that over, making things accessible to fans. I, I, I it took a long time for a lot of people on different levels to respect me, but for me, one of like the highlights of like my career in the motorcycle industry, and it's now spinning on 20 years, is the seal of approval from John Ulrich at Road Racing World.
Whoa,
So
nice.
that was massive for me, and it started with because he met me as an umbrella girl, and I was dating one of his riders, Robertino Pietri.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
And he just thought I was a girl that, just wanted to chase the racers, and that wasn't the case. And I think it took a long time for me to prove to him that like I'm serious about the motorcycle industry. I'm serious about like whatever I'm committed to in terms of like, whether it was running a race team, whether it was, helping sponsor and partner relationships, whether it's what I do now with Royal Enfield. And some of the nicest emails I've ever gotten in my professional career in motorcycle industry have been from John Ulrich. He did a complete 180. And when he sends me an email, or when he calls me to tell me like, great job, or Bree, I got more information from you than I did anything, like, man, that's like the highlight of like my year, honestly. Like nothing has really beat that than getting that affirmation from John Ulrich. And people
awesome.
might be like, what? But I know how he felt about me 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And to now, like when he says like those nice things to me, it's just like, it means more to me than anything in the world. But I think it's about establishing relationships, like proving people wrong, and I think you said something at the beginning is like, this is a male-dominated industry. If you look at all the OEMs that are represented in the U.S., you can count on one hand how many women work in substantial roles, or like legitimate roles in the OEM space.
Right.
And for me, being able to be one of those of the handful of 5 or 6 that are out there is absolutely amazing. I never want to do anything to mess it up. I love that this brand has like believed in me. I love that like Melissa Paris is willing to take on this crazy road race program that I come up with, and like all the sponsors that we have. Like when I see a new sponsor, new partner come on board for like one of our programs, and we have a ton of programs outside of even just Build Train Race, and I'm just like, why? And they're like, we love what you're doing. I think Royal Enfield's the underdog, and we want to be a part of like bringing it up and like exposing it to more people in the United States, and like it makes me happy.
Do you think it's because, and it's almost like when somebody like in African American, like somebody black is put in a position where like, they've never been before. It's like, man, like kind of like Barack Obama, like, man, I can't fuck this up because I'm gonna ruin it for everybody else. So I gotta be on point. You know what I mean? Because everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
Is that the way you feel in that way? Because honestly, and let's just be truthful, being a hot woman in that kind of dominated field with all these guys coming at you, you have to be like, all right, listen, I'm being professional, and you got to keep that professionalism to respect them, but there's got to be like you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure guys that come at you left and right within the industry, like, hey, she's pretty, I'm gonna hit on her. But you got to earn their respect by going, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not here I'm all about my business.
Actually, and this is gonna be like upfront, I think I've gotten a lot. I think because of where I came from, like once I got this position, outside people that know me and know my history, it was really easy. I think like the most shocking thing is some of, and it could be male or female, some of the people that just think that like, if I don't give them a response maybe that they wanted, they, try to go above my head for some reason, or if they don't if they think that there's a possibility just to like override something that I've made a decision on, and this is outside, so not in the company. Okay. But in the company, I absolutely have the most, support possible. But I got an email this last Sunday that kind of really bummed me out. This person had my information and instead chose to not reach out to me and reach out to somebody else, and it has bummed me out for like the past 3 days, and I'm wondering like why would this person do that? But I think that's like in any job or any role. My company, again, historically for since the 70s has been an Indian run company, and there's obviously learning curves,
Right, of course.
working, and there's also like meetings for me at like 1:30 in the morning. They call me the vampire because they're like, how do you attend meetings from like 1 to 5 a.m. in India and then do a whole workday? And I'm just like, because I love this job. I love it. Now, do I wake up every morning with like anxiety or fear that like I accidentally did something wrong the next day? Yes, but I also think that keeps me on my P's and Q's. That,
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to take this job for granted. I'm not going to take this company for granted. I'm not going to take any of the opportunities that are, bestowed upon me for granted. I, dig it. And they let me be me.
Right.
They know like my racing background. They know like I'm completely transparent individual.
Right.
Sometimes people don't like that, but
The hell
my
with them.
company-
Don't let it get, you got to learn how to like be a duck, man. Let that water go off your back. Seriously. Don't let it get to you. I mean, I know they're
I
trying
would say 9
they're
times
trying to
out of
carry
10
you.
I do.
They're trying to carry you is what
9
they're trying to
times
do.
out of 10 I do, but then you get that one that you're just like,
Yeah.
man, I can't figure out why it went that way. That's just a damn shame, and like
Don't worry.
I
Don't worry
called
about it.
Melissa right away when I got the email. I'm like, man, I can't even believe this just happened. And she's like, girl, I can't either. And like, I'm like, this person has your contact info. It just sucked because, I work really hard and I don't know, sometimes
Hey, well, like I always say, sometimes it bees like that, girl. Sometimes it bees like that. And honestly, that's what you got to do. And, but you don't want to get to it. And I'm not going to put your business out there like that. But, but you brought it up the first time. You went out with a racer. And I know you going out with some racers in the past. No names. But what's it
No
like? No, I wouldn't do you like that. But what is that characteristic that all racers have that you're going out with? Or is it? Or do they all have one characteristic? I know everybody's different, but you've dated racers before.
I don't have a type, but I think that like you have to have some serious cojones to race motorcycles.
Of course.
And
is that what you
I
like?
think that I think that like, I like people that always push themselves to the next level.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be, during a 15-year period of my life, more around people in the road racing industry, and you just, you're around people and you're around whatever. But I think it's just like always constantly push. I love people that challenge themselves, and I think a road racer has that. Like they're constantly trying to be a better rider and be a better athlete, and like obviously in my life things have taken a shift now. But I think I appreciate the constant challenge, and it's never good enough. And like I would say like some of the relationships with people I've had in the motorsports industry, they all had that. They're always like, girl, you got to get out there and do better at this, or like, let me help you with this, or, and I definitely appreciate a good challenge. And I think that in a partner, that's what someone wants is like, always challenging yourself to make, yourself better, be better.
So basically, if we go to the racetrack next time and I put my leathers on and go out there and just kill it, like maybe do a great track time, you'd be like, hey, BT, listen, maybe we should try this again. You think so? Maybe? Like if I really put it in, I
don't know if I would say that. So like on a road racing track, like you would school me, but I'd be like, hey, next time out, let's try to like focus on this next skill. Let's refine something. Like for me, I do that too. Like I take mental notes. I'm like, hey girl, on that trail, like you went really slow around that rut. Like, why did you do that? Like, why did you hit that, patch of dirt the way you did? Why did you avoid that rock? Like I'm constantly like critiquing myself, and I always want to be, like, as silly as it sounds, the best version of myself. And sometimes you need the people around you to push you.
But that wasn't a yes or no. So what I'm trying to say is, if I got my leathers on and I got on, and you saw me on a road track, and like, oh man, BT's kind of got it. And all of a sudden we went trail riding. You go, damn, he's like Mr. Dakar. And then like we did flat track. Go, damn, he's like a black James Rispoli. And then like we did ice racing. You were like, damn, he's like a Aki, from Finland who works for KTM. So we did all these disciplines that I was doing. You'd be like, you know what the hell? I mean, so basically you didn't say yes or no. So I got a shot shot then if I did all that and improved at every discipline?
You got a shot at what?
Yeah, going out. That's going out. If I did that, if I did all those disciplines.
I currently have a significant other.
I know you. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Just no wedding plans or even any conversations on that. So that's why I say I'm technically engaged. Don't get me started on that because that makes me angry.
I can tell. But hey, just so you know though, if things didn't work out, hey, 4 hours down the road, baby, I got that bike, I got them leathers, I got 4 or 5 different helmets, and I'm ready to do that. Okay, listen, you've raced before.
It's also like an academic and an intellectual thing. Like I've dated people that aren't into well, they ride, but like their focus is on like literature, and that's intriguing to me too.
I can read. I can read.
Yeah,
I've got 2 degrees.
Upside down while spinning on your head and doing the splits.
I can do that. I'm a Gemini. That's why it's called Tales from a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I have 2 degrees, an associate's and a bachelor's. That means I can get the night shift manager at Kmart. I can do that. Not Walmart, but Kmart. I got skills, girl. I mean, seriously. So
I thought Kmart closed down.
And that's not the point. The point is, that's not the point. I can read. I got literature, so we'll go there. We'll go there some other time. But I know in all your travels, and honestly, I followed your travels. What's the one place that sticks out? What's the one ride that sticks out in your mind? And I ask you this because I'm going to love your perspective. I know you've gone to Italy, and I've ridden in Italy, and you've gone to India, and I hear that's crazy. So and it didn't have to be those places, but what's the one ride that sticks out in your mind? Either because it was great, because it was bad, or whatever. What's the one ride that just gets you like, that ride?
Oh. If I had to choose one, I would say it was last January. I was in Brazil with a bunch of coworkers. I went there, a week before we were set to launch the 650 Twins in Brazil. So I had our head of product strategy, Mark Wells, with me, and he's an insanely crazy street rider. And then I had a bunch of our team, and we rode from a different state to a different state, and obviously the states in Brazil are massive.
Yeah.
So we rode from Sao Paulo to Curitiba, and on the way back we went through some of the most epic mountain roads. But it was also like, from the scenery, the landscape, absolutely brilliant. But 2, like being behind a group of street riders that really understood the geometry of the motorcycle, how the motorcycle moves, where they could push it. It was like a freaking ballet. And like, I was so mesmerized, but through watching them, I started adjusting, like without even knowing, like my body position and like when I was on the throttle, when I was off the throttle. And I feel like that whole experience, like we were sopping wet, like we had a ride in the rain, and it was like super crazy and like slippery. None of us crashed, but we would stop at these beautiful mountain towns and villages, and it was just like the overall experience, like from like pushing myself as a rider, learning new techniques, riding with some of the most amazing riders, and and I would say in like the company that we have, the places that we got to stop with along the way. Like I probably smiled for like 3 weeks straight after that.
Yes.
And it's a memory that like I think I always post about on Instagram. I actually posted about it yesterday as a joke.
Yeah.
Saying like, on this day a year ago, Mark Wells told me I was a slow rider. And that's like the constant joke now is like, I'm not fast enough for Mark Wells. And I'm like, well, I'm riding on the street and I have no idea where I'm going. So I'm going to be calm. But I think that, but then from like a crazy story, like what the hell did you get into standpoint?
Yeah.
It was the first time I rode to Goa, India.
I hear that is
from
nuts.
Mumbai to Goa.
I hear that
it
is
is
nuts.
mental, but it's so like getting out of the city, like there's no traffic patterns, there's no traffic lights. About 70 kilometers outside of the city, I almost hit a cow, which would have been like the death of me because, people would have killed me. So I was like, oh my God, I'm not even an hour into this ride and I almost killed a cow. Then I crashed going uphill. Who the hell does that? Who the hell crashes a motorcycle going uphill?
What'd you do?
I have no idea. I think I was looking at like a beautiful like scenic picture or like landscape to my right, and I fell down to my left. I broke off my left foot peg. Had to ride another day and a half with only one foot peg, and the like shifting was a biatch. Having to shift with like no foot peg. Then we got we got lost from one of the other riders. There's only 3 of us total. It was a guide, myself, and a friend of mine. We got lost from her, the girlfriend of mine, in a really dangerous area. So we were like freaking out, like rushing to the border. We didn't know if we would like find her again. Then we get back on our motorcycles. We're like an hour and a half out of Goa, which was our destination, and a monsoon happened. Like legitimate, real monsoon.
Yeah.
Like riding in an effing hurricane, like, and not stopping. So I'm like, holy crap. And then like 6 months later, I was reviewing like all my GoPro footage, and there's like this black blob that comes across my face at some point in the video. And it's like when we're on this crazy cliff with like waterfalls and stuff. I slowed the frame, and it was monkeys flying past my face.
You literally had flying monkeys. Literally. Flying monkeys.
I literally had monkeys flying past my face. Like, there are so many good, bad, ridiculous things that happened on a day and a half ride that, like,
But were
I
you
wouldn't
smiling?
believe it unless I had been there.
But were you smiling inside the helmet when it was
Hell
happening?
yeah, like,
Yes,
whenever I'd make it
exactly.
safely over, like, some pass or, like, not get killed by a truck coming at me,
Yes.
we would stop for some, like, chai tea or chai, and I would stop and be like, holy crap, that was crazy. Let's do it again.
Yes. Yes.
And
That's
since
why-
then, I probably rode in India like 13 or 14 times, and I'm addicted to it.
why I
I love
love it.
India. I don't think enough people like realize the beauty of India, and like the craziness is part of the beauty.
Yeah.
But then you have places like Goa, and I suggest everyone Google it and Google like Vagatar Goa, Google just like the coastline of Goa. Like if I could buy a house there and live there for the rest of my life, I would. Like northern, I went to a wedding in Chandigarh, which is gorgeous, and we got married at like this old fort,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous. And Hindu weddings are like 5 weeks long. They're actually like a week long, and you don't sleep, and it's the most beautiful, crazy, just there's so many different like ceremonies and traditions or whatever, but like you don't sleep for a week straight. You're the guest, you're the in the wedding, like it doesn't like, and you wear these big beautiful heavy gowns, and you have like all this jewelry all over your body. Like you literally feel like a princess even just being a guest at the wedding. Like, and then the next day you go freaking ripping on motorcycles.
Oh, that's okay. What's your dream ride? The ride you really want to do that you haven't done yet. And you've been everywhere. So, I mean, what's the one where you go, I gotta
have.
do that? Is it the Himalayas? Is it the Stelvio Pass in Italy? Is it the maybe Russia? And before I'll let you think on that. But I've got something for you. Think on that. But I got something for you. Here's what I think you should do: do the female version of Long Way Round. You, Melissa.
Oh, that might be on the list.
You, Melissa, and maybe 2 other girls, honestly, and do the female version of that, because we've seen the male version, which was great, but do that on your bikes. I mean, because it's going to get a whole different perspective. You know what I mean? With women doing it, it's going to give a whole different perspective. I think that would be awesome to do.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I want
You should see, like, I don't want to share it, but I have a list of things that I want to do with the brand regarding women, and there's some really epic things. It's not just all about racing. It's maybe Alaska's in the mix. Maybe
yes.
Yeah.
Arctic. How about
But
Arctic
my
Circle?
most epic ride that I want to go on is I want to ride in Argentina from top to bottom.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's like my dream ride, because I've rode all over Southeast Asia. I've rode all over Europe. I've rode all over the U.S. But I would say like Argentina is like, man, I need to do it. And the country's beautiful. The food's amazing. Our dealers in Argentina are just, their setup is top notch. Like it's not even like a motorcycle dealership. I can't even explain it.
Best ride in the
It's
United
gorgeous.
States. Best ride in the United States, as far as you've been. Best state.
That I've done, I would say like it's not state, it's up in the Northeast. So riding in Vermont and Maine.
Oh, that
and
sounds beautiful.
Just getting lost on like the twisties. Yeah, if I could ride in the Northeast all the time, I would.
Okay. The best bike. I mean, I know you love your Royal Enfield, so even though you work for it, that's great. But best bike that's not a Royal Enfield or a Ducati.
Oh God, you just took away my 2 loves.
I know. That's why I said that. I did a little research. I know about
that
you.
I own.
No, the
That
best
I own
bike.
or that I would want.
Either way, I think you have to own it. But the best bike that's not a Royal Enfield or a Ducati. Because I have a Ducati. You
A
ever rode
Honda
Enfield?
Goldwing.
Oh my God.
I have many Ducatis too.
You know what? I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if they consider it the old man bike. That bike is the shit. And Honda was smart because they chopped it up and made it look cool. You know, because it was the old man bike.
Oh, I want like an 80s version in like brown.
No,
That's
no.
what I want. Like
No,
I think
don't
the
want that
Honda
shit.
Goldwing is
No.
one of the best platforms ever.
Not brown and 80. That's ugly. I want, big ass antennas like you're a semi. No, I want the chopped up, blacked out, like, just and everything on it, and just to go across the United States on that son of a bitch. I can't wait. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's what
I am actively seeking a reasonably priced Goldwing because I think
do that.
because you took away Royal Enfield, and I have Himalayan and Royal Enfield tattoos all over my body, so everyone knows how much I love Royal Enfield. I also have a couple Ducatis, and you know my love for Ducati, and obviously one of my race teams in the paddock was Ducatis.
Well, duh, that's what I got right now. I got a Ducati now. I got a Ducati hat on right now. That's what I rep, girl. If I ever get a tattoo, it'll be a Ducati, but I'm too dark, you can't see it. But still, if I ever got a tattoo, it'd be a Ducati. That's what I rep. That's what I rep.
But I think the Honda Goldwing is a pretty epic motorcycle.
Good for you. Man, I love that. Oh my, I love, yes.
You would have never have guessed I would have said that.
No, I wouldn't have. No, but that's why I said that, because I didn't know what was coming. That's why I asked that question, because I knew you got to rep your brand. Duh, you have to. Okay. And I knew you started out with a Ducati. I knew that. So I knew that was coming. So I had to ask you a question that I didn't know the answer to. That's why I asked that question. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted that. I wanted to see what it was. No, I did, because
Ask me who my favorite singer is.
No, I'm not going to ask you that. Okay. So, no. Who's your favorite singer? Michael Bolton?
Yep.
Is it really? Michael Bolton.
Yep.
See, I know that. I did my research on you, girl. I did my You know what's funny is that, and I'm not even cutting you short. And I almost feel bad because I go, okay, let me look a little bit up on Bree. I know her, but let me look, and I'll go, oh my God. And I was like, I didn't sell you short. But man, when I looked at what you done and what you doing and what you're doing, not what where you came from, what you did, what you're doing, and where you're going, I was like, damn, T. I was like, you should. I mean, and I take you serious before. It wasn't like I was like, whatever. But I was like, even just more intrigued by you. So okay, I'm gonna ask you this: you think you guys could, or would you want to have a team in the Dakar? Because the Dakar is my fantasy. I mean, I lay awake.
I know that's your jam. I know.
I lay awake at night going Dakar. I mean, if I ever have a kid, boy or girl, I'm gonna name it Dakar. My first kid's gonna be Dakar. It's gonna be DT, little DT, BT.
I take that. Sorry.
You gotta go. Uh-oh. Is that a bad
My
email?
assistant. No, it's my assistant calling me. She's
Oh.
just calling to check in.
Oh, damn, must be nice. Have an assistant. Damn, girl, must be nice. Oh, big time. Look at you. Okay, then what's your dream? Is there a dream race for you or that you would like to enter? Or maybe like a dream category? Like you done flat track. You've already done flat track. You've done ice racing, ice racing, which I think is great. And I love that you did the flat track inside that little arena. I think it was in Illinois where you got.
No, it's here in Milwaukee.
Okay, you did that, and I was so happy for you. So what's the next kind of discipline maybe for you, or maybe even a race, maybe like just a fun race for you personally?
Like a trail enduro race.
Yes.
Because I've done it on mountain bikes, but I've never done it on a bike with a motor.
Yeah.
So I think doing my friends here in Milwaukee are gnarly, man. They're all super intense riders, and they'll ride in any condition, or they'll ride their dirt bike in an enduro race for 10 hours. So I think that's my next thing is being all right, let's do it an enduro race, and I
say me and you get a Royal Enfield and do the Dakar. Like you be my coach and you train me. You know me, I'll train. You know me, I've got the huge cojones that you said. I've got those. I got the cojones, el grande cojones del negro. All right, and so what you train me. We'll go to the Dakar, just me and you, a 2-person team. And you're like, look, T, you got to get it together. And I go, okay, gotcha, baby. And you give me a little kiss on the helmet, and I go out and I win it. What? I go out and win the Dakar. They go, who is this man that came out of nowhere and won the Dakar and then got a female crew chief? What? And we're like the talk of the world. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Do it.
Why not?
Yeah. I want some kind of presence in Dakar. Like it's so inspiring watching it. Just like, oh my God. And I just saw that, female rider, and I didn't know about her before, but like she killed it. From
Yes, she
Spain.
did. Yes. Yes.
Like, holy crap. Like, she didn't just finish it. Like, she finished pretty well, and she's a tough cookie.
And she's hurt. She was hurt too. She didn't think she could finish it,
Yeah.
and she finished. She was crying. I love that, man. And you know what?
Yep.
And you did something I want to do so bad. Is I want to move to Spain. You went there with Melissa to help her out in Spain, right? Where'd you guys live? Where'd you guys live?
We spent most of our time in like a small village called El Churro. It's about 60, 70 kilometers north of Malaga. It's in like south central Spain, but we spent a lot of time in Albacete, Madrid, Barcelona.
I love Madrid.
But I would say where we relaxed was in El Churro, and that place is just magical.
Tell me
I don't know if I could live in Spain though.
Why?
The temperatures are like the terrain is more arid. It has a lot of desert vibes to it, unless you're in specific. Like if you're in the north of Spain, along the coast, it gets a little bit greener.
Mm-hmm.
But I could do Portugal. I would live in Portugal.
Okay.
But like my favorite place in all of Europe, and it always will be London.
You like London, huh?
I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker with anything about the monarchy and learning about the crazy, nasty, dirty things that kings and queens have done, and like all of their weird quirks. I think like every book behind me is about like some crazy story about like the king or queen. It's not about their policies. It's about like the backdoor shit.
Greatest vacation I ever spent was 2 years ago, and I flew into England. Went to Cadwell Park on Sunday. Monday went to Alton Park, and then Wednesday I went to Donington Park and had a track day. It went taught by Ron Haslam. I was on the back. He did a wheelie doing 100 miles an hour. Me on the back. The greatest vacation. And then I went to finish up at Silverstone. The greatest vacation ever in England. So if you want to,
Ron Haslam or Leon Haslam?
Ron, the dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 60-something years old, and he's still in great shape and still popping a wheelie. Still has that Beatles haircut. I mean, he's still killing it, man. And now I know about rider pump because I had to hold on to the gas tank, and he was doing and he did a stoppy like. I had to hold on, and my forearms were burning. So now I know all about that. So see, I've been doing. I do a little bit too. I mean, I'm not like you, but I do a little bit also.
I like it. Hey, no, I've been lazy. Like I haven't gone out to ice ride once this year, and I see all my friends. And I just bought that 2004 CR125 Husqvarna that I bought strictly for ice racing, and I haven't even like put on like the ice tires yet, or like got the like extended fender.
Cut yourself a break because you work so damn hard, girl. Give me a quick fun story.
Right.
Give me a quick fun story from Spain. Give me a quick fun story from Spain, because I know you and Melissa had to kill it, and so a quick fun story, and it didn't have to involve Melissa, but no names.
Well, it kind of like Melissa used to be obsessed with that thing called geocaching. Like I don't know, it's some like app, and it tells you like a set of coordinates, and you have to like try to find like a hidden piece of plastic, and like then take away that and like leave something else. It was like, I don't get it. It's like geotagging or caching or I don't even know.
Okay.
And she would have us stop in the most ridiculous. We'd be driving on the highway, and she makes me drive.
Yeah.
And I'd be going like 100 miles an hour maybe. And she'd be like, stop, pull over. I think there's a tag right here. And then like, you can't just turn around in Spain. You have to get off roundabouts. You have to pay tolls or whatever. But like, it was like a freaking goose or a egg, whatever, duck egg hunt, or it drove me crazy. I don't get the excitement about it. She would just like when we were living in El Churro, she'd be like, let's go out for a walk. And then I would finally figure out her intention. It'd be for this freaking geocache thing. And it was just like crazy. I don't know. Like Melissa's actually like really calm. She doesn't drink. She doesn't party, which is great. She's a true athlete. Like she trains all the time, whether it's cycling or, doing whatever weird shit she does. So, like teaching her how to cook was pretty, funny because she had never really cooked before. So like, but I would say like the weirdest overall experience is definitely like the stupid geocaching crap that she had me do. And like, she got my son obsessed with it at some point, and I just wanted to like choke her. I'm like, why did you bring this into my life? I know.
Did you tell your son I slept in his bed?
And yeah, I did, but it's like little pieces of plastic, like a
Okay.
I don't know, like a little Belgium guy with, but it'd be plastic. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are we spending 6 hours trying to find a freaking plastic toy that's probably been like taken out of like a 25-cent machine? It was,
It's Breeann Poland. She is the promoter to the lead marketing communications, right, for Royal Enfield in North, Central, and South America. This is the woman.
Correct.
You want a Royal Enfield, you come see my friend Breeann Poland. Follow her on Instagram at Breetoshki, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Nothing but positivity. And if you're negative, get the hell out of here. We don't want to hear that shit. She's nothing but great. Yeah, she's nothing but great, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You inspire me, and it's always a good time. Even though we couldn't make that love connection, it's okay. We're still buddies and friends, and I want to ride with you again. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Give my love to Melissa. Tell her, bring us together. Bring us together.
I will.
You bring my Barack Obama and bring us together.
You should have her on.
I want to. So you reach out to her first, because I don't want her like not responding. Cause I know what she'll do. She's like,
I got it. I will make this happen.
Make it happen, girl. You know
I
what?
just made note. Like, make it happen.
Thank you so much, baby. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, I know you're busy. Thank you so much, Bree. Honestly, and for being my friend, for letting me sleep over at your house, and for trusting me, for sleeping over your house and everything. And tell your son, I said, I'm sorry for drooling on his pillow. So thank you so much for that.
He is forgiving us.
Appreciate it. Good luck and everything. Thank you guys for watching Tales from a Gemini. I'm BT, and like I said around this time, peace.